Hello, children. Today we're going to be reading a very exciting book called Mouse's Magic Paints. This book was written by Tim Healy and it was illustrated by Margaret Chamberlain. Let's see what's inside. Page 1. Mouse was very poor and he lived in a very shabby little house. But he had always hoped that something exciting would happen to him. And one day it did. On his birthday, the postman brought a mysterious parcel. Mouse opened it and found that a long-lost uncle had sent him a magic paint set. Mouse tried it out at once. Since his own clothes were old and patched, he painted himself a fine pair of red trousers and a splendid yellow shirt and a magnificent black hat with a long purple feather. Dressed in his new finery, Mouse went swaggering off into town. He passed his neighbour, Mrs. Hedgehog, who was shivering in her garden. "Oh, Mouse," she complained, "I left my pink shawl on the clothesline overnight, and the wind must have blown it away. I feel so cold without it." Quick as a flash, Mouse painted her a new one. "But that's amazing," said Mrs. Hedgehog. "Mere magic, dear lady," Mouse replied. Mouse walked on to the market square, where some jugglers and acrobats were performing before a large crowd. Suddenly, the tightrope snapped, and one of the acrobats fell with a bump to the ground. "Oh, bother," he exclaimed. "Now we'll have to stop. We can't do our tricks without the rope." Mouse looked at the white cord and quickly painted in a smart new one. The acrobats were astonished. Everyone cheered for Mouse, who bowed low with a sweep of his hat before continuing. Then he saw her, the prettiest mouse lady you could imagine. She was sitting with a book on a park bench, with a faraway look in her eyes. Mouse fell in love, madly in love. "Fair mouse lady," he said, "you seem sad. Is there anything I can do for you?" "Oh, sir," she replied, "the great green dragon stole one of my gloves as I sat here reading." "Have no fear," Mouse replied, reaching for his paints. "I'll paint a new one for you." But the mouse lady interrupted him. "You are very kind, sir," she said, "but I would like my own glove back." "Then I will fetch it for you," Mouse vowed. He painted himself a sparkling silver sword and hurried into the wood where the great green dragon lived. In the wood it was very dark. Mouse felt very alone without his magic paints. "At least I have my sword, though," he muttered under his breath. "Who dares bring a sword into my wood?" boomed a deep voice. Mouse whirled around and saw a great green shape loom from behind a mossy rock. It was the dragon, and in its paw was the mouse lady's blue glove. "Give me that glove, dragon," Mouse called. "Certainly not, you miserable little worm," replied the dragon. "I'm not a worm," said Mouse. "I'm a mouse!" And he lunged at the dragon with his blade. The dragon darted to one side. "Never touched me," it chuckled. But as the green dragon moved, the tip of Mouse's sword caught the glove. He had it. Mouse snatched the glove and ran from the wood, tossing the sword high over his shoulder as he went. As it landed, the sword pierced the dragon's tail, and both the sword and the dragon vanished in a magical puff of smoke. Mouse ran back to the Mouse Lady with her glove. She was delighted and promised to go to tea with him. Filled with pride, Mouse rushed home with his paints. It was such a shabby little house. Mouse wanted it to look like a palace for the lady, and he painted it red and yellow and blue and black and purple and pink and white. He added touches of green and silver too, to remind him of the dragon and the sword. Lastly, Mouse painted a gold ring and placed it on a pale blue satin cushion. When the lady arrived, he would ask her to marry him. That night, Mouse went to bed very happy. But when he awoke in the morning, his little house was as shabby as ever. All the colors had gone, his fine clothes had vanished, and so too had the satin cushion and ring. Mouse looked at the calendar. It was his birthday morning. He must have been dreaming. Mouse heard a knock, and feeling very miserable, he went to his front door. But before he could open it, all his friends burst in. It was a surprise birthday party. Mouse's friends decked the house with colorful streamers while he unpacked his presents. You'll never guess what he was given. All of the lovely things he'd seen in his dream. Then there came another knock at the door. Mouse opened it to find the best surprise of all. For waiting to join his party were some jugglers, some acrobats, and with them, a girl who looked just like the lady in Mouse's dream. The end. I hope that you have enjoyed today's book. Until next time, keep reading.